What's up, Aggies? It's your boy A&T-roy, A&T-roy, back again for another week of the Unofficial-ish A&T Athletics Report. This week, we are talking about what happened with the potential A&T taking Hampton's place in the Big South fall sports. But of course, I think many of you already know we are not going to be taking Hampton's place. Apparently, the MEAC is talking about playing football in the spring. So we'll see what happens with that. I will tell you, I think the big issue is what we Americans do related to wearing masks and staying apart, washing hands and all that stuff to alleviate or cause this virus to go away. And the way that happens is when you don't pass it, you get rid of it eventually, and other people don't get it, which extends the time for it to keep going. So we'll see what happens. Of course, I don't think leadership, and I won't go too far into that, some of it anyway, is gonna get to a place where they will make the right decisions on what to do. So this week, we've got an interview with Samaje Marsh. He's the creator of the BlueDeathValley.com website, or Pro Board, or whatever it's called there, that a lot of Aggies go to and talk about a bunch of different subjects. So I'm going to be interviewing Samaje a little bit later in this broadcast, in this report, and he's going to tell us a little bit about Blue Death Valley. Samaje, thanks for joining us here or joining me here for this first interview session that I've had with the Unofficial-ish A&T Athletics Report. And glad to be able to talk to you about it. Of course, I've been talking about Blue Death Valley in every episode and where I get information for the things that I talk about. So I want to ask you, man, why did you create Blue Death Valley?
Okay, well, the original, I guess, motivation was just to give other diehard A&T fans like myself and I was like yourself, just a platform, a place where we could discuss A&T athletics and also school-related issues with other people of that ilk who had that same passion. And at the time, there was no one place like that. There was a couple of other fan sites like the MEAC, but there was not a central place where all A&T people could go for A&T only news. And we had talked about doing it for a second, and we kind of just went ahead. And I've always kind of been somebody that's I always wanted to, if there was something out there that didn't exist, I tried to create it.
Okay.
I just didn't wait for someone else to make it happen. I'll make it happen myself. Okay. And I didn't have a whole bunch of technical background at the time. I wasn't a web developer. That's what I do now for a living. So I kind of learned throughout the years, kind of on my own. But I just did a little bit of research, got a little, just talk to people. Actually, the young lady who did the famous band website, the Fifth Quarter, her name was Christy. Uh-huh. Yeah, she was a A&T fan that I knew, and I talked to her, and she gave me some pointers on how to start the Blue Death Valley site. And make a long story short, we launched that in about 2004, and it's been kind of steady ever since. And over the years, we've tried to provide original content. We've had a whole bunch of talented photographers who come on there, and they go to games, and they go to practices, and they go to everything in between, and they capture the sights of what's happening around A&T and share. And they're so gracious to share that stuff free of charge. We don't make any money. It's all kind of a labor of love. Okay. So, guys like Michael Simmons, Dr. Michael Simmons, you probably came around. Yep. Kevin Dorsey, who's now, I guess he does a lot of contract work with the actual athletic department. You'll see his photos everywhere. And then a gentleman named Darren Toller, who was a guy who was a band alumnus, and he was big band guy. He used to always go and take a lot of halftime pictures and stuff. And then we have another guy named Craig Turner, who's an insider. He's the plug to a lot of good information. And he's always giving his analysis and writing columns each week during football season on what to expect, what's going on. So a lot of people just kind of, come together and just help build this community.
Yeah,
it's been a great thing to see happen and progress over the years, over decades, really. And now we've got credibility. People, when we say something, people take it seriously, and we have the ability to reach out to people within the administration, and they'll actually pick up the phone and answer our call, so that's pretty cool. But and like I said, we just keep on keeping on and plan on kind of growing and expanding. We're due for a redesign pretty soon, so I might be kind of changing the website a little bit for the better, hopefully, next couple of weeks and months. So look out for that. But but like I said, we just want to have a platform for people to kind of express their opinions about A&T.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, it has been awesome for me, man. And I'm so glad it happened that you did it. And I hate I didn't get onto it as soon as I did. And it's only been a few years that I've been on there. Somebody told me about it. All right. Let's go to the second question. What's the main thing you tell a new person about joining the message board for Blue Devil?
Okay. All right. That's funny. Well, the main thing I would say is you got to have thick skin.
Yeah.
All right. Because, this is a very opinionated place, opinionated people, passionate people, and everybody's college educated. Right. So you're not going to fool too many people with the okie doke. Everybody's, been around. They know their stuff. And if you have an opinion, you better support it with some facts. You can't just say, this quarterback sucks because I feel that way. You're gonna have to have some stats. You're gonna have to have some game films or whatever. And so that's why I tell a lot of people, that we're very welcoming. We're open to outsiders. People from other schools come by from time to time. But if you're gonna plant your flag and say something, you better be able to stand on it. It's rough, man. I've seen people get embarrassed by having a bad take and they don't come back for a few days or weeks or ever, So if you want to stick around, you better be strong enough to stand the feedback you get.
Absolutely. I see some of that on there. I try to whenever I post on there, I try to post stuff that people won't come after me about. So
we don't say it's fun though, because it's an open environment. Like we don't really do we don't have a whole lot of rules. You can't use profanity or be obscene or make personal attacks or anything like that. But if you have a strong feeling about something, this is the one place where it's not going to get what's the word? It's not. It doesn't have to be something that the school puts its stamp on and says we approve this. If you are upset with something about that A&T is doing or a decision that A&T leaders have made, you can come out there and gripe about it. And someone might check you and say, hey, I think you're wrong, and then y'all can have hopefully a civil discussion on that topic. And so that's one of the things that we try to present.
Yeah. And the other thing, and this is not my next question, but it's the same topic that you mentioned. It's not just athletics,
right?
And there are a bunch of different things. Yep.
Mm-hmm. These are really true blue supporters of the university. So athletics is one component. People are definitely sports fans, but people want to see A&T grow and strive, in every facet, academically, financially, every majority of the people who've been there for, more than 5 years are members of the Aggie Athletic Foundation, or they have contributed in some format. Most people on the board, the longtime members, definitely put their money where their mouth is. I could definitely say that. So you got people who really have a vested interest in seeing the university, flourish.
Yep. I think I've seen a few people on there who buy season football tickets but can't make the games, all that stuff. So
yeah. And even now with this whole pandemic thing with the cancellation of fall sports, there have been people out on the board who are advocating for buying season tickets, even though it's not even the football season, because they know how much the athletic department needs those resources and that revenue. And so there are people who I think they said they bought booking season tickets. That's not even football season here. So that shows you how important things are to them.
Yeah, I'm not going to plug myself here too much, but I did exactly that.
You did that. Oh, so you crazy.
because of that point that, hey,
yeah,
we need
I'm joking.
Athletic department. Yeah.
You know, and this is a precarious time right now. We don't really know what this whole how long this pandemic is going to last and what the lasting impact of the pandemic is going to be. So if you do have a little bit of money set aside or laying around, consider giving back to the university in any way, because I'm sure with there's probably not going to be as many students who's going to be able to enroll.
Yep.
You know, and obviously with the athletics kind of in limbo, this is going to be weird. Hopefully, you know, we are positioned to where we can make it through this. We can ride this out.
Yep.
But you know, I hate to say it, but there's going to be a lot of HBCUs who are not in as strong position that we are right now, who's going to be under the gun, and the future does not look promising for some schools.
Absolutely.
When it comes on the other end of this.
Absolutely. We had a little bit of that conversation when we talked on the phone. So
right.
That was the next question, and we'll be done, man. Let me see. So what is Blue Death Valley, the site, going to do if there are no A&T sports in the foreseeable future?
Okay, well, that's the challenge, and you know, but like we mentioned before, we talked about earlier in this interview, that you know, sports is only one thing that people talk about on the site. You know, there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered. There's still a lot of speculations, and then even with sports, you still have the Big South move. That's a big topic, and that's going to continue to play out over the next couple of months. They floated the idea of spring football. That's a possibility that the MEAC is trying to pursue, I guess, along with the SWAC. And, you know, over the past week, a number of FCS conferences have decided to cancel fall football, and they are looking to maybe do something in the fall. So I guess there'll be an announcement in the next couple of days or weeks about even if there's a championship available in the spring. Yep. So I mean, that's still going to be a lot of things to look forward to. And everyone, the crazy thing about it is we're all in this position together. Everyone is going through the pandemic at the same time. So you know, you do have someone who's in the same boat as you are. And so that, and if you want to just cry, scream, yell, be mad, be happy, whatever, Blue Death Valley is still a platform where you can kind of interact with other folks who are in the same predicament you are in. So
absolutely.
That's one thing.
Yep, I definitely see that. All right, man. Good. Thanks for agreeing to do this and us be able to get on here and talk a little bit about BlueDeathValley.com. I do have another thing.
Sure.
Why did you name it Blue Death? Just let the people know.
Okay, well, Blue Death always has been the unofficial nickname for the A&T defense. Yep. And when I say always, I think legendary A&T coach Bill Hayes, he introduced that name. I guess that's what the moniker was for his defense in the 90s. And just like Nebraska, they call their defense the Black Shirts.
Okay.
Every famous defense has a little nickname, and Blue Death was our nickname in the heyday of the early to mid 90s. Yep. when the defense was kind of like king around here. And so I've always liked that name, and it's just like Clemson and LSU have Death Valley. Yep. I just chose Blue Death Valley for our name, and it just always stuck. And I mean, I still, I guess the new generation, I don't know if they still use Blue Death as much.
Okay.
I don't know if like someone who just came to A&T now would still call the defense Blue Death, but for us old school guys, defense is still Blue Death. It still always will be. Yeah, so
maybe this thing will help bring it back, because our defense has been really, really good here the last 6-7 years.
Well, since Sam Washington's been defensive coordinator.
Yep. Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
well, yeah. So since Broadway came, I guess 2011, and they kind of revamped everything, got things on the right path. We've been top 5 in defense nationally for most years.
Yeah.
And, you know, so yeah, it's always, you know, one thing I like about Coach Washington is he's just like me. He's a perfectionist, and he's never satisfied.
Right.
So he's always adding a few more spices to the sauce, you know, a few more pieces. And that's the frustrating thing about not playing this fall. Because if you look on the roster and you see some of those monsters that we have, and just the transfer, the big defensive tackle for Virginia Tech, Robert Porcher the fourth.
Yeah.
You know, man, I just, those guys, and we had we had a cornerback from Virginia Tech that was coming in.
Yeah, man.
And he was supposed to be, you know, a top recruit coming out of high school. So it's so frustrating not to be able to see that. And I understand about the, you know, definitely got to err on the side of caution. But when we are able to play football again, and hopefully those guys will still be on the roster, still be ready, that's gonna be fun to watch.
Man, listen, I've said I think this is the most talented roster I've seen or we've ever had.
On paper, man, that's a strong. You can make a strong argument for that, because I mean, all across the board, I think the only question mark right now would just be the experience level at quarterback. We don't have that one guy under the center who has proven himself, you know, for a whole season. You know, I think both the guys who were going to be fighting for that number 1 spot have had flashes.
Yep.
And both of them great athletes, but just, you know, when the limelight's on, how they gonna react? That's the question.
Whole different story right there.
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, you're not coming in and mop-up duty and, you know, maybe for a few minutes at the end of the game because of an injury. This is real big thing. Yeah.
Right. And like I say, Jalen Fowler, you know, he people forget he missed the Celebration Bowl, but 2 games prior to that against Bethune-Cookman in a must-win scenario. Remember, we had to win out to even get to the Celebration Bowl. He came in relief duty, I think at halftime, in third quarter, and he got us over the hump, and I think scored 2 touchdowns. He had 2 touchdown passes. Yeah. So I know he's capable. It's just that, you know, you got to prove it over a course of time.
Yep, absolutely. All right, man. Thank you for this. I'm gonna do the rest of it tonight for the report, and
I got you. Okay.
Post it on Facebook in the morning.